The man secretly dripped poison into his wife's water. He nonchalantly handed it to her, smiling as he invited her to toast with him. Then, he quickly found an excuse to leave. He anxiously hid in the shadows, watching his wife down the poisoned drink in one gulp. The poison had no odor, and after ingesting it, the heart would stop beating within 8 hours, leaving no traces behind. All the symptoms would be identical to a heart attack. Sure enough, not long after, his wife passed away from a heart attack. For the next few days, Nick pretended to be overwhelmed with grief. Finally, one night after everyone had left, Nick excitedly hopped on his motorcycle and secretly headed to a secluded house. The girl who opened the door was the reason he had poisoned his wife. As it turned out, not only was his wife much older than him, but even his respectable job had been given to him by her. His wife was also very domineering, threatening to kick him out of the company if he didn't obey her. He had long grown tired of it, but had no choice but to endure it. However, a few months ago, he met the gentle and considerate Kara. After some time, the two of them planned all of this. As long as he could successfully pass the autopsy and get his wife's huge inheritance, he could take Kara and leave this place. But just then, Nick received a call from the police. Just now, his wife's corpse had disappeared from the morgue. Upon hearing this news, the two of them were stunned on the spot. Could it be that their plan had been exposed? Kara was worried that the police had discovered something and set a trap, but Nick was sure he hadn't slipped up. He still decided to go and see what exactly had happened. After rushing to the morgue, he learned that half an hour ago, the guard here had rushed out of the woods in a panic onto the road and was hit by a vehicle that couldn't dodge in time, knocking him unconscious. After reviewing the surveillance footage, they found that he had escaped from the morgue, seemingly frightened by something. But strangely, except for the camera that captured the guard, which was intact, the rest had all been destroyed. They couldn't find any clues at all. Immediately after, they discovered that a corpse was missing from the morgue. It was Nick's wife. Upon hearing this, Nick finally felt relieved. This meant that his own affairs hadn't been exposed. Officer Jamie asked him if he and his wife had offended anyone while she was alive. Nick replied that they hadn't had any conflicts with anyone. Just then, Jamie was called out, and Nick took the opportunity to call Kara. He said he wasn't under suspicion, but still asked Kara to go to the hospital and inquire about the guard to make sure the police were telling him the truth. He then immediately hung up and deleted the call record. Afterward, the coroner asked him if his wife had any illnesses when she was alive. Nick denied everything, then probed the coroner to see if they had already concluded that she had died of a heart attack. When the coroner said it was very likely, Nick instantly relaxed. This statement made everyone a bit uncomfortable. He was too calm in the face of his wife's death, but they had no clues. After being detained for a few hours, Nick began to grow impatient. He demanded to go home immediately, but just then, the lights suddenly dimmed.